Hello and welcome to Stained Glass Gaming, where I turn video games into glass. To celebrate the release of the new Animal Crossing game, New Horizons, I will be making the leaf in stained glass. I used 3-bladed scissors to cut out the paper pattern. I added the clear pieces to the leaf because if I left the leaf as it appears, the stem of the leaf would be the first thing to break. For the color of the leaf, this green is the closest I have. One side is textured, and I want the textured side to be the front. To have the textured side be the front, I need to glue the paper to the back on the smooth side with the front facing up. This means that the textured side will be the front. This is done because trying to score the glass on the textured side is near impossible and will result in broken glass. Even though I use a ring saw for this, I still glue the paper pattern on the smooth side of the glass. I love the Animal Crossing series. I had a GameCube growing up, and Animal Crossing was one of the games I had. I played the game for hours and hours. I know the game doesn't really have an end, but I played to the point where I was debt-free. Don't know how many hours it took, but I know it was way more than what the game could keep track of. I then played City Folk, and then New Leaf. I don't have a Switch, but my sister does, and I'm excited for New Horizons. Can't wait to see what crippling debt Tom Nook will charge for the island getaway. My first town name on the GameCube was Earth. I am terrible at coming up with names for characters and places, so I just typed in random letters. Since then, every first town in any Animal Crossing game is called Earth. No clue why, it just is. Though my sister probably won't want that as her island name in New Horizons, and since you can't have multiple islands, and it is her Switch, she'll get the naming rights. I move on to the grinder to refine the shape, using a smaller grinding head for the stem area. I have to be careful with the stem because there is still the risk of breaking it. Once the grinding is finished, I can move on to foiling. For the stem and circular part of the leaf, I put small pieces of foil on each side to prevent the glass from showing if the foil splits. This is called saddling. When using textured glass, it is really important to make sure the foil is pressed down really well. I use 7/32 inch width black backed foil. Copper foil is wrapped around the glass and pressed down with burnishing tools to ensure a snug fit. An X-Acto knife is used to cut the corners to be able to fold the foil onto the edges. I use 60/40 lead tin solder to stick the pieces together, applying flux before I solder. The flux allows the solder to bond to the copper, otherwise the solder won't stick. I tack the pieces so they won't move when I remove the push pins. I make hooks using copper wire and attach them to be able to hang the piece once it is finished. This time, I am going to try and bead the edges for the entire piece. I've avoided doing this because beading curved edges is more difficult than beading straight edges, but I figured I can't avoid it forever, so I'll try beading the edge. As with anything, it will take a lot of practice to make it look smooth. I need to be careful to not overheat the edges because that will cause the adhesive on the foil to melt and no longer stick to the glass. I do the best I can and call it good. It does look a bit lumpy, but it didn't turn into a complete disaster. Definitely will need more practice though, that's for sure. Once everything cools down, I wash the finished project with water and dish soap, dry it off, and change the color of the solder to black using a patina made specifically for lead. The final thing I do is apply wax to slow down the natural oxidation process. If you want to know more, I have a tutorial playlist where I explain each step in more detail. I really like the way this turned out. The textured glass adds personality to the project. If Tom Nook wanted to buy this, I'd charge him 30,000 bells. I have no idea what the equivalent of 30,000 bells is in the United States dollar, but I figure, if he wants it that badly, He has loads of bells to spare. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see me make down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all through the next pane.